my topic. I want to know what's in your life that you thought never would be. I was thinking about this today. I'm 33 years old, reflecting on everything. My example, of course, Portillo, who's laid out on the floor over there. Porty, come here.
He's dead.
All right. Well, Kevin was petting him with his foot, so I can understand why he'd want to hang out over there. But that's the thing. I never thought I'd have a dog growing up. You know what I mean? I was a cat person. I was going to be a cat person the rest of my life.
God damn it, Greg.
What?
You were a cat person?
Yeah, what? I was raised with cats, and cats are cool.
I was too.
I feel weird about this overall. I feel like...
What do you feel weird about? Lay it
I
on
don't
me.
know. I think that 2016, I think it's weird that being a cat person is acceptable. I grew up in a world where cat people were weird.
But I mean, we've taken that back. You know what I mean? It's another thing where, yeah, you think of old people and there are millions of cats, and you open the door and there's 40 cats on the floor, and that's something different. Enjoying a cat, I feel like there still are cat people and dog people where it's like you got to make a choice.
But how were you a cat person growing up?
My parents were cat. My mom was a cat person, so she had cats, and then I was raised with cats, and then I got my own cats, and I had 3 cats, and there was cats in the house. That's how you're a cat. I don't mean I was wearing shirts with cats on them.
Got it.
That's the thing. By that, I mean, granted, I make the fucking shirts about Portillo, but like, there's way more dachshund pride in me, I guess, than there ever was cat pride, if that helps you out.
Got it.
Does that help you out? Does that feel
kitty
better?
Pride.
Well, that's a different thing altogether. Yeah. But yeah, there wasn't that. I just had cats.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed cats. So I always thought I would have cats in my life. Make sense?
Totally.
Okay. So then when I graduate, and the ex is wanting a dog, and I'm all against it or whatever, I was like, you know what I mean? Then
I know what you mean.
She forced me to go to this puppy love haven place out in Mexico, Missouri, now closed, rest in peace, big ups. But it was 30 minutes outside of town. So when we were driving out there, I knew I was getting a dog, even though I was like arguing against getting this dog. And she's just like, let's just go look. We walked in. There was a basset hound, but she had her eyes set on this fucking little teacup garbage dog that's like basically a skeleton that's never going to get bigger than the palm of your hand. It's got all the hair on it, and it's a disgusting dog.
These dogs suck.
These dogs suck. But her friend had one, so that's how this had started. So then I immediately started panicking and looking around the room, and I saw the basset hound. I'm like, this is an American dog. If I have to get a dog today, can we at least get an American dog? We started arguing about that, of course. Surprised this marriage didn't work out. Arguing about this, whatever. And then finally some lady brought in Portillo and put him down. And I was like, is that a wiener dog? And she's like, yes. And I turned to the ex and I'm like, if you let me get this wiener dog and we name it Portillo, I'm in. I won't complain. I'll help out. No big deal. And it was like, okay. And then I was in love with this wiener dog all of a sudden.
Makes sense.
And now here we are. 11 years later, he's fucking laid out over there. Lazy asshole won't even come over when you call his name because he's got pet with a sock. But it doesn't matter. I look at him and I'm just like, I never expected this idiot to be part of my life. This was never part of the plan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I get it, man.
That's what I'm talking about. That kind of, where your life changes on a dime, where all of a sudden you're taking care of this thing. Just chilling out over there with its weird eyes. He's given the face too where he's like, he's not sure if he's enjoying the pets from the foot.
No, he's clearly tortured by this. He's clearly something on Kevin's foot has paralyzed him or caused some sort of mental paralysis. And I can't say I blame him because I've never been close to Kevin's feet before, but it can't be a good environment to coexist in.
Every day.
Don't tell people that, Kevin. They're gonna think I'm weird.
Oh my god. I have a bazillion answers for this. I feel like there's pretty much my entire life I never thought I'd have the things that I have. I'm gonna start with girlfriend.
Never thought you'd have a girlfriend.
Being completely real, I remember being younger and being like, I can't see this actually.
But why?
Like,
Tim used to be
out.
asexual though.
It was, I mean, it was just one of those things where just like, I don't know, growing up, it just never was really.
That's weird for me because like me growing up a fat, kid playing with his fucking action figures through like middle of high school, still collecting them long after that. Yeah. I was like, one day I'll have a girlfriend. This will all work out.
Wait, you were playing with your action figures in high school?
Oh yeah, well, come on, that's part of my imagination. You know what I mean?
We've been down this road before. It's on the story list, Colin.
Yeah, exactly.
Just wanted to make sure I'm hearing everything.
Yeah, no, totally. But that was, a part of it. But I'm like, this will work itself out. You never thought that?
No, I mean, for me, and I'm talking about for a long time up until like high school era, I was like, yeah, I have a lot of friends, and like it was my standards are too high situation, and that's just like thing you tell yourself, which means you don't allow things to happen. It all worked out for me at the end, but like I do remember vividly thinking like, yeah, no, that's just not my thing. I have a lot of friends, and I'm cool with that, and I have a lot of girl space friends, but not girl friends. Yeah. And then once you date people, you start casually doing this stuff, and it's like it's high school, middle school, it doesn't even fucking matter. Like this told me that I wasn't getting my slang on.
You weren't getting your slang on.
I mean, I was getting like
you were going on dates. You were holding
things
hands.
were happening. Whatever.
You remember Tim when we first met him, right?
Yeah, I remember Thug Tim. Yeah, Tim.
Well, I meant just when he had the name Pure One.
Oh yeah,
because like he was like all weird about everything.
There was a while where when Tim first came in, I was like, wow, this guy's really, really like really pure and innocent. Like, because next to me, I'm sort of a natural corrupting agent. Like if you put anything near me, my goal is to just like I'm gonna just take out the deep, dark
You're like the
nastiness.
ice.
When I
Bring it to the
when
surface.
I talk about you to other people, I always say you're like that black sludge from the Amityville Horror that was like popping out of the basement and like possessing people and
That's
making them do
accurate.
fucked up shit.
It's very accurate, Greg. No, when I met Tim the first time though, he had all these girls that would hang around with him.
Yeah.
And I was always like, Tim, these girls are cute. Like you should try to be, you trying to hit this girl or what's up with that, right? And he'd be like, no, I'm not really into that. I mean, I like to go to church. I like
Not
to buy
true.
people presents.
Not true.
Tim was basically one of those guys that was you got stuck in this weird you pigeonholed yourself in this weird spot where you would be like the unrequited love guy.
Yeah.
Where like you would
Yeah.
like a girl for a very long time and then it wouldn't work out and then you'd be like, well, I guess I just never deserved to be happy. And then somehow, I don't know what happened to you. Something broke you in a good way. Where like you had one experience or two experiences where you're like, aha, maybe, just maybe, Nick was right. Maybe I should start following all of Nick's rules. And
Without any details, I feel like, from what I understand, in a rough timeline of Tim's sexual awakening, it was like your bachelor party, where I feel like that was the first time those stories came back where I was like, oh, old Tim wouldn't have done that.
See, there's a lot of common misconceptions going on.
Lay it
here.
on me.
You're right about a lot of these things, but I was still like I was joking about the slang thing. It's not that I was just like totally against anything. It was specifically sex that I had an issue with.
Yeah.
I was getting hand jobs left and right my entire life,
I mean, God bless
essentially.
you for it.
So it's
in
just
many
like-
ways, the hand job is superior to sex, but we won't get into that now.
In what ways?
In ways that
Name me two.
I'll name you two right now. One, it requires very little, if not zero, energy from me, so I can just lay back. And two,
But you could have sex that way too.
I don't feel. You've never been married. Two, I don't need to necessarily. Wait, what was the first? Oh, one, I don't have to exert myself. Two, I don't feel bad about how long it may or may not take.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. That's a
Right.
good point. Okay.
Because really, how hard is it just to do this for a while? Read a fucking magazine, bake a cake, talk to your mom.
What's that noise in the background?
What are you doing? You needing some dough? Yeah, Ma. I'm needing dough. What's up, Jamie Kennedy?
Why are you calling
Oh my god!
I call your mom sometimes.
talking to your
I'm gonna
mom.
hand job.
Your wife was talking to my mom while
Maybe.
giving you a hand job?
Maybe.
God damn, kind of funny live fuck things up.
Kind of feeling that though.
Bringing
Kind of
people
feeling
together.
that.
People loving people. That's what we do.
My mom's like, are you needing dough, D?
She's like, yeah. Yeah, Mrs. Kennedy, I'm needing dough.
All right, so yeah, you didn't. It was just the sex thing you were against. For
So you're
a while.
getting hand
it was
jobs left and right because you didn't want sex.
I don't know. I just like for a long time in my life, there was a I'll say taboo against sex
You had a
itself.
mental hang up about
Like I'm not talking oral sex. Oral sex is totally free game. I don't give a fuck. None of this shit made sense to me. You made a joke about religion. Totally, that was not it.
I'm
at
joking
all.
about religion.
Yeah, like that was not a thing for me at all. So I hate buying people presents, but that I think that for a long time I just had some issue being like, all right, sex is okay with people that you're not like intimately connected with. Then once that was broken, and I'm like, all right, cool. But again, like I don't think there's anything wrong with believing that.
Sure, no.
So, but for a long time, that's how I was.
Okay.
I also used to not drink. Now I drink.
You do,
It's just
you do that
things,
a lot.
Things
Actually, no,
change.
we've been
You also
meaning to talk
used
to
to
you about
not do
that.
meth, and now you do meth.
It's true. There's so many things.
To each his own.
But with the girlfriend thing, it's just like you talking about the unrequited love shit. There's not even a handful. There's a couple of those stories. But a lot of the other people, it was just like I had friendships with these people. It wasn't like I was even trying to do that, or that. It's not even like that was an option, you know. So I think that.
But I feel like that was. I mean, I'm not gonna. I don't want to play your therapist right now, but I feel like that was a big reason why you didn't want to take that next step with other women casually because you were actually mentally committed to some other girls.
yeah, that's
know,
fair enough.
and then
But
eventually,
again,
like-
it's like it really is. It's weird looking back on now because I'm like, why would I do those things? But or
That's how
not do
everyone
those
thinks
things.
though when you're.
But like I
looking
was
back on your life.
like blowjobs were totally fine with me, totally fine. So it was like even during that time. So
I mean, let's be honest. They're blowjobs. They're awesome.
they are. I know, but anyways, going back. I don't know.
Who'd you look at? Look at all the 4 people out there that are watching that agree with me.
But I the girlfriend thing for a long time because all my friends had these like, and yet that's the context I think is really important. My closest friends had girlfriends from the time they were like 13 that are still lasting.
Yeah, Colonel met
Colonel met
Colonel met
Shari.
Shari when he was like 4.
Yeah. So
They didn't even know what each other's dirty parts were, but they grew to figure it out.
Exactly.
From what I understand.
So
I don't
all
wanna blow them
of
up.
my friends had these relationships that were like, you know, perfect Disney tales, right? And they just fucking lasted. Whereas I was just like, I'm not gonna have that. So it's not so much
Gotcha.
the girlfriend.
That
It's
makes
more
sense.
like
That makes sense.
the real girlfriend. Like I'm in a committed relationship. And I was just like, man, that's just not how I roll. I'm too Tim.
Yeah.
You know, I think that's the thing. I was unrelentlessly Tim. I'm sure you guys can imagine.
I can
still
imagine
am.
what Tim is, yeah.
But then I found somebody that understands that and likes that, which is pretty cool. Shout out to you. You're dope.
What up, Gia?
Dope.
Nick, what do you have in your life you didn't expect?
Kevin. I would never have expected in my entire life that I would spend this much time with Kevin Coelho. I met him once on a job I was doing for a friend. I brought him aboard to help PA for the art department on the shoot. And he was really well-spoken. He was quiet, and he worked really, really hard, and he didn't give me any shit. And I'm like, this Kevin's a nice guy. And I even told, he was very, very supportive of everything I would do. He was like, hey, Nick, I really like talking to you. You're a really nice guy, man. You really inspire me. And I was like, Tim, this guy Kevin's awesome. I think I like him more than you. And Tim said, just wait. Just wait. And Tim, #Tim was right.
Yeah.
Because now there isn't a day that goes by that Kevin doesn't intentionally try to annoy me. Now it's just intentional. And he succeeds. And that hurts even more. That pisses me off even more. It's that I try not to let him get to me, but he gets through. He's like Vicky Vale, just working his way into the Batcave.
You got it.
You got it. Kevin. Which is, interesting that he's wearing a Batman t-shirt today. And I drew a picture of him as Batman on one of the postcards we sent out.
But he was like naked, right? Wasn't it?
He had underwear on. He was just kind of like, he was just like this. Hello. I'm from Peru.
No, Kevin's another good example, but I mean, he's a current example, I feel, in our timeline, right? Where it's like when we all meet each other for the first time, we have no idea this is going to happen.
Oh yeah, I had no idea you were going to be
But the amount of people who've tweeted me about like they're catching up on all the GameOverGreggy shows, and it's like episode 25 or 22, you tell a Kevin story, and I'm like, I got to meet this Kevin one day. And then I remember the day where you're finally like, hey, can he come up? And I'm like, we're like trying to do oration. I'm like, I guess, like, it's weird to have just a guy here just doing it. He came up and he was all quiet, and I was like, all right, weirdo, I don't know what's happening. And then now he's here all the time.
He used to be so quiet. Remember how quiet he used to be? Just think back hard for me. Spend some time today thinking about how quiet he used to be, and then maybe get back to that spot.
Kevin and I have a great fondness for Kevin. What I find with Kevin is that, I find this with a lot of people in my life actually, is that like the people I have, I don't want to say the most strife with because I don't think that's true, but like a certain tension with are usually the people I love the most.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the way with and I don't mean that necessarily in relationships. I don't mean that with all my friendships either or my family. But like there are certain people in my life where I'm like the tension is because I like you. Doesn't mean I want to fuck you. It means I like you.
Well,
I kind of want to fuck
Kevin's
Kevin.
case.
I would fuck Kevin.
Sure.
But so I want to give a shout out to Kevin. But there are two things that I'm thinking of here. Yeah, I think I would have. Both are kind of related to this. One is fans.
Yeah.
I always found it. I really didn't expect to ever be in this position. I was in the industry for a long time. I was writing at a major website. I ascended at that website into a high position and was in charge of things and really developed a fan base, I guess, through Podcast Beyond and IGN PlayStation, but also because I'm super curt. The things that people hate about me are also the things people love about me. And I've cultivated this really pretty large group of people that really love me, and I never really I'm so appreciative of that, and I never really thought that would happen, and I'm always going to be uncomfortable with it. The bigger, I use that in quotes, the bigger we get and the more famous we get or whatever it is, and I use those terms lightly because we're a small YouTube outfit or whatever, but like where people know you, like I've been with out with Erin multiple times. I mean, Erin and I have been dating for a while now, but I've been out with her, I don't know, like on 5, 6, 7 occasions just randomly where people know who I am. Like I'm sitting in a restaurant or I'm in a different city with her or like something like that, and they shake my hand and want pictures and stuff like that and thank me, and I'm like, that's so cool. Like I really appreciate that we've done something that I've really touched people. And even though I really don't crave fame and would rather recede into the background and let other people take the fame and be in the background and write, or I want to be well. I don't mind being well known, but I want to be well known for something fucking like I want like a major novel one day or something like that. I want to be known. I want to be like a J.J. Abrams almost, where it's like you're known for being like not the force on the screen, but the force behind the screen. I don't use that in a double entendre with Star Wars, but you could use that in a double entendre. So like I really do. I'm very appreciative of that we've developed that. I mean, when really push comes to shove, millions of people have listened to what we've said, and there I would say probably tens of thousands, about 100,000 or more people out there in the world that really consider themselves fans of ours and fans of mine, maybe. And I think that that's pretty cool. So I never expected to have that. No matter, like I joined the industry when I was 18 officially, and I was writing since I was 13. in the gaming industry. So I've been doing this for a long time, but I always wanted to be well known in my mind as a writer, but never did I think that it would get to this point where, we do Kind of Funny Live too, and I walk out and it's like a fucking critical acclaim or whatever. Like I actually do something that matters. So I really appreciate everyone for that. The other thing I want to say that I'm thankful for that I never thought I'd have is Greg. And what I mean by that is we often see, and I think Greg sees them too, but I don't know if we ignore them. We just get a lot of comments. Someone that you have such rapport with that you couldn't almost ever imagine not having something in your life that you do with them, which is why I think P.S. I Love You, bringing P.S. I Love You back actually kind of filled something that was missing, at least for me, in our lives, where it could just be something that he and I do together. When you really think about it, and I've said this in the past, I can think of maybe a couple of examples that rival the sheer hours that Greg and I have put into everything we've done together in the gaming industry. I don't know if there's anyone else, with the exception of maybe a couple people like Gersman and his partners or whatever, where it's like that you've done literally 500, 600, 700 podcasts with, 300 or 400 morning shows, sat next to the person for years, worked on the same channel, just have like an unspoken code between each other where we're mad at each other or happy with each other, we're in good shape or bad shape or whatever it is. Like that always kind of exists. And I always kind of like the messages we get where people tweet out like, look at this because look at their rapport.
That just happened with the last PS I Love You with the Mounds bit.
Yeah.
Where we broke into the Mounds song in like 2 seconds.
And I think that's something that's not something you build up to or even strive for, something that just happens. And I respect that has happened to me. I never expected to have that. I have great friends and Greg's certainly one of them. And I think that the thing is that Greg and I can go our separate ways one day and like not speak to each other for 10 years and get back together to do a reunion episode of PS I Love You when we're 50, and it's going to be exactly the same. Like it really won't change. And like, that's one of the cool things I know. That's why we always taught the story about Colin and Greg Live, which wasn't planned at all because we didn't have to. We never planned beyond. We don't plan PS I Love You.
Yeah.
Like it just happens. And I think that that's some of the strongest content we do. So I think that there's something really kind of special about that partnership.
No, for sure. Like the thought it's similar to the Kevin thing where our first meeting or whatever is so crystal clear in my head of the Edna's Ichiban karaoke. Everybody thought you were going to suck. And then like being so drunk with you and Hillary at Denny's in that parking lot and being like, everybody said you were going to be terrible, but you're awesome. And you'd be like, no, but to their credit, I was a douchebag when I came here to be an intern. But it's the same thing in that vein of, I remember, graduating University of Missouri, leaving the Antler house and saying goodbye to all my roommates and walking out the door and crying and being like, man, and I was crying because it was the closing of that chapter. And I remember the distinct thought of, I will never have this experience again. I will never live in a house with my best friends again. And because that shows you how different the world in Missouri was, where it's like, cool, now I'm getting my own place. And man, I should buy a house. Oh, what? My dream job's calling? I'll move to San Francisco.
Right.
Oh, wait, you're going to live with people forever here. And it's going to be like college all over again. So when we finally unified into one house with Colin, where it was like, we work together all day long. We come home and live together. Weekends, we wash each other's backs.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and there's something special about it. Like I get tired of people and things really quickly, unless they're really important to me or I like to really do them. So like, I really like to write, so I'll never get tired of that. I really like to play video games, something like that. But if I'm around a person enough, I'm like, all right, enough. Like I kind of need space. I want to be alone. And if I don't need space from you, and there are certain people in my life I'd never need space from, really, then that says something about that person. It's like Ramon, that's like Aaron, that's like, and that's like Greg. And the thing, the testament to this is that like I've never really ever even remotely felt the need. I'm like, I gotta get the fuck out of here because I need to get away from Greg. Like I need to not live here anymore because I need to get away from Greg. I need to not do the show anymore because need to get away from Greg. It's fine. Like even when Greg and I have disagreements, and I think that we've talked about it, I think our friendship is kind of it's a little cooler and like it's
been put on the back burner.
Right.
Right now we are focused on being business partners, I think, more than we are focused on being friends. Because we do stuff here where we're working all day together and tempers do flare or whatever, or we have not a disagreement even, but we don't agree about something. It's like, cool, let's at the end of the night, it's not like, let's go out to dinner because we're inevitably going to talk about the same things we were talking about today. And I don't want to run it into the ground the same way when Christine and I broke up the first time when we were both working at IGN. That was the problem, right? Is that all day at IGN, we'd be IMing about problems with IGN, and then we'd walk home and talk about IGN, and then we eat dinner and talk about IGN. It was like, eventually, like, this is too much. So we do need those times. And now we're trying to find that balance.
Yeah. So I've always really appreciated that nonetheless, like we could get together, do Colin and Greg Live. It's great. We do PS I Love You. It's great. So I never expected that I would have that.
Yeah.
And I think it's kind of cool. Like, I don't know that I would enjoy doing this at all without you. And I don't think that I would do it actually without you at all.
Well, yeah, our relationship and our friendship and everything else, professional relationship is tied together in the way of like, you wanted to get off of guides and you came to the PlayStation team, and I was part of that decision, helping you and being a bouncy board or whatever.
Yep.
Thank
Guides.
you. Sorry.
Yeah. I heard guys
I said
too.
guys.
But it's okay.
And
You were part of guys.
You wanted to get off of guys.
I wanted to get off of guys.
guys.
I was reluctant to get off of guys. I mean, in a lot of sense, I do this because I do this because I think it's fun.
Yeah.
I do this because it's kind of funny because I think it's rewarding and we enjoy doing it. But there's definitely part of the equation. The pie chart is definitely I do it for Greg. And
It's like how Homer did it all for Maggie. Remember that Simpsons reference? There you go.
well, because I don't think that there would be something missing if it wasn't both of us. You know?
Oh yeah.
And so, like-
I mean, kind of funny in general, right? Is one of the things. Wait, you never thought. I never ever was at IGN until like we were well into doing GameOverGreggy everything, and it was like I never thought about I'm gonna break off one day and start my own company. I want to be a CEO one day. I want to have our own logo and this, that, and that was never a part of it. And that's what we always talk about, right? If it was just Colin and I who broke away to do this, Jesus Christ. Just all it would be us talking. We'd have no graphics. We wouldn't know anything.
Oh yeah, no. I'm not saying that with any disrespect to obviously the contribution
no,
to
no.
That's not what I
yeah.
mean at all. What I'm saying is that like that's definitely that's one of the linchpins for me is like this. We're older. We have options. We can do anything we want really if we wanted to. If you want to put your mind to it, I can go back to school. I can go write. I can go do anything. But I'm like I like to do this because I enjoy everyone.
Yeah.
And I enjoy what we do. But like I'm not ready to walk away from Greg either. Where it's like I'm not like that partnership means something to me. We've done
Got Brian Adams in my head right now. I don't know why.
Which one?
like
Everything I do.
yeah.
it's just like I'm proud of the prolific nature of like whether or not people like it or hate it. And I feel bad for Greg sometimes because I think that Greg would even be, or like the shows that we do would even be bigger if it wasn't for me because like I'm so polarizing. But Greg's never asked me to be anything but what I am. And
the only reason we have any fame is kind of funny is because we're authentic. So I know.
yeah, I think that's true too. But like I often, I appreciate that no one's ever tried to like Greg especially never told me to like not say something to not, everyone's like, some people suggest sometimes that like, oh, like Greg must have got mad at Colin or whatever. And I'm like, as far as I know, I don't think so. I say whatever I want. Greg never told me not to. So I just appreciate that as well. But I also think there's some prolific nature, like some sort of like book of records kind of thing where it's like, we can literally do this for a few more years and be totally uncontested in terms of like sheer output of a partnership in the gaming industry.
Game duos.
Like period.
Yeah.
And that's something that I think is like really quite extraordinary. And it's not something I stop and think about very often.
Sure.
And I'm
bad at that.
thankful for it. Like I'm thankful for our whole collection of 5 people, and hopefully we grow into more in the future. But I would not be here without Greg, and I would not have been on Beyond, and I would not have been on IGN PlayStation and all those kinds of things. So Greg really runs that pantheon in a way of the people that have helped me along the way. And so as thankful as I am as Mark Ryan, Selly, and Chris Carl, and Per Schneider, and all the people that gave me opportunities, certainly you'd have to throw Greg into that mix as well. And probably really the most important and relevant in terms of what we do today. So that's mine. My 2, I guess I should say.
I liked them because it was about me. See,
That's good.
thank you. This topic was brought to you by Loot Crate. Loot Crate is a monthly subscription box service for epic geek and gamer items and pop culture gear. For less than $20 a month, you get 48 items that include licensed gear, apparel, collectibles, unique one-of-a-kind items, and more. Make sure to head to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on any new subscription. Loot Crate is more than just a subscription box service. It's an entire community of fans that share their experience and interact with each other around the unboxing of each month's crate. June's theme will be exploring some of the ways things can go wrong with dystopia, featuring classics RoboCop, Terminator 2, Judgment Day, and The Matrix, and new favorites like BioShock Infinite and Fallout 4. We've got a figure, cool collectibles, and of course, our dystoporific monthly tea.
Don't push him toward me.
Remember, you only have until the 19th at 9 p.m. Pacific to subscribe and receive that month's crate. And when the cutoff happens,
Jack.
that's it, Nick. It's over. So go to lootcrate.com/Greggy and enter the code Greggy to save $3 on your new subscription today. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Game Over Greggy Show. Thank you so much for joining us. If you didn't know, each and every week, 4, sometimes 5 best friends gather around this table, each bringing a random topic discussion for your amusement. If you like that, head over to patreon.com/kindafunny where you can toss us a few bucks, get every episode early, get exclusive episodes, and get a whole bunch of cool perks. If you have no bucks to toss our way, no big deal. Head to youtube.com/kindafunny where you get the show topic by topic, day by day, until the entire thing posts as one big MP3 and video. Gentlemen, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
What's happening on the internet? Everybody grab their phones right away.
There's some stuff happening.
Is it
It's
involved
not
Obama?
important at all. No.
Obama?
Lockmort made a
I'm
new
trying to
video about
send
us.
Tim this picture of Kevin that I took.
Man, he is certainly lounging.
You see what I'm saying? It's like I can't tell which one of them is working less, Portillo or Kevin.
You should have seen him during Colin and Greg Live today.
He put his feet, on the table.
It was out of the view.
He had Lola in your lap, too.
And I'm like next door is our tips, and you're just sitting there, like just staring it off into space.
You gotta give him like a recliner.
No,
that you work
he'll fall
out of and
asleep.
just fall asleep.
The
there.
worst, but you're also the best.
I'll never fall asleep.
Trust you with everything, trust you with nothing. Until next time, it's been our pleasure to serve you.